And welcome back to the channel. So we are going to try to make another bowl blank here in this project, but it obviously doesn't go well by the thumbnail, as you can see from the beginning of the video. So here we are making my blank, and if you saw my last previous video, this is going to be nothing like the previous one. However, we did do some things correctly in this video. So here we are, basically the same thing. I made a little bit bigger box with scrap wood, and here I am pouring the epoxy. This is the first layer. So if you saw in my last video, I had a lot of floating in the last episode, and I got epoxy literally everywhere. So what I did was poured that first initial batch just to get everything solid and gripped to the bottom of the box so I could prevent flowing, and then I got a tannin and attached the tannin to the second pour after everything had dried up so I could prevent everything from flowing. So did this on the did this indoors this time and brought the epoxy to temperature and was able to adequately, get a good blank. And I was really happy with the pour. Everything was going well. We had just enough epoxy to do this blank, and it's huge. It's a monster of a blank, but the pour went really well. So we took it out of the mold and got it on the lathe. Immediately knew from the very beginning that this was a mistake. Had a lot of wobble when we first got this thing going on. Got it on the lathe, and it was a beast of a project. And we were doing initially pretty good. Had a lot of chipping. As you'll see later in the video, I was trying to get all of this material off the lathe, because once you have it balanced and all the material is off the lathe, typically it, goes pretty smoothly from there. But this project, man, all this shrapnel that you're seeing flying off the lathe, it's just hitting me in the face. I got a face shield on, and I'm just like taking shots to the dome basically the entire project. And, we got it smoothed out, but as you can tell from here, very catchy. So here I am trying to reverse the tannin on this side and trying to make a big enough gap to where the chuck jaws can hang on to it. And this part initially went very, very smooth. However, you'll notice later in the video, had a lot of wobble on this project. So there we are, reverse the chuck jaws, and now we're going to get down to, what the shape of our bowl is going to be, or our vase. Initially, that's what this was going to be. Was doing good, still getting a lot of chipping, and it wasn't the tools, I'm telling you. I was getting some good material off of it. It was just chipping so damn much, and I don't know why the hell it was chipping, but I could not for the life of me get it smoothed out. And you can see here, still had a lot of material that I needed to smooth out, and we were doing pretty good, between the roughing gouge and the other one. I don't even know, because this project was a disaster. So getting it smoothed out, and you can see, in the video, I'm having some wobble, and then here we are trying to make the base of it. And, initially I'm doing real well. I'm very confident. I'm thinking, hey, but as you can see here, look at the wobble on this mother trucker, because once it vibrates off, you have to readjust it on the chuck jaws, so you never get that perfect alignment like you usually do. So here I am trying to even things out yet again, and I'm pretty happy with it. And then I start to get aggravated, and obviously I'm like, at this point I've been stabbing at the blank, because you can see where I literally would stick it in. There's those lines, and then I went back, calmed down, and got it to a nice shape. I was like, okay, I'm happy with this. Let's take it off. So then I get the Sawzall, and I'm like, let's take the top off. This is where I'm going to start to gouge out the bowl. And boop, boop, falls off the lathe. So here I come back again, and boom. This is the problem I had the rest of the project. I could not get this damn thing to stick to the lathe. So I still have it reversed on the chuck jaws, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe we can fix this. So here I am going around, taking material off, and I'm getting some good material off, because you can see the webbing coming off of that. Sorry about this one. This was low production video shot at this particular moment. So got it off, getting good material off, and I'm thinking we can still salvage this. I'm still hopeful. So then this is where we start to have real kinds of screw ups. So I'm trying to gouge this thing out, and you won't see it in the video, but this thing is literally flying off the lathe. Like, I'm getting enough wobble on it to where it just completely detaches from the chuck jaws and I can't get it done. So that happens like 3 or 4 times, and then I really act like a child and start to lose it, and I'm like, screw it, I'm going to cut it down, and I put it on the miter saw, and then you don't see it in the video, but I threw it on the floor, broke it. This was the piece that was left, and I'm like, okay, we got to get something out of this video, or out of this project. So this is like a third of the original block, and I'm like, okay, we can save it. And for the most part, I really thought I could. So here I am, rounding it out basically to the shape that I want. I'm getting material off. I'm going, okay, it's not going to be the prettiest or the biggest bowl, but damn it, we can get something out of it. So, you know, getting good material off, and you could see everything coming off. And then I built another tannin on the back of it. This is just me sanding it down flat, and I'm like, okay, put it back in the chuck jaws, and here we go. Smoothing it out. I'm thinking, hey, we got this, bro. We got this. And I'm getting good shape, getting good material off of it. I'm like, okay, we can save it. We can save it. Not a problem. But ultimately, I don't know what it was about this wood in this project. It was super catchy. I could not gouge out the center of this. This is where it really fucked up for me. And I just could not gouge out the middle. And just got frustrated and quit and said, fuck it. There it goes. Okay, so this project was a complete, utter disaster, and this is all that's left. Bits, pieces, total fuck up. So I know a lot of channels like to show you everything good that goes right and nothing ever goes wrong. This project, absolutely fucking hated. So you can see here, my tannin for the back of this was good. We were doing good, and then we were getting some wobble. My guess is my tannin wasn't deep enough, and it really wasn't gripping, so I was getting that wobble on the lathe. I mean, let's start from the beginning of what went wrong. That block that I had was too heavy and too big for my lathe. I fucking knew it the second I put it on. I was getting a lot of wobble, and I was like, son of a bitch, it's just not fucking going good. So we were doing okay. We shaped it down, and then, as I was saying, everything kept on coming out of it once I started trying to gouge it out. So I was gouging it out and had this horrible, like, I don't know, the wood is like super catchy. I have no fucking idea. I was getting shrapnel from this fucking epoxy. That fucking sucked. So, you know, I was just getting shot in the face. So then, after I realized my tannin in the back was too shallow and I wasn't going to be able to do anything else with it, I was like, okay, so let me cut it in half. So then I went over to the miter saw, which was an accident, which was not smart, cut it, got aggravated, threw it on the floor, and then it broke. So then I had this part left. So this part was like, or it wasn't that, it was this part that was left. So then I was like, okay, maybe we can salvage something. So then I started to gouge it. And it was just so super catchy in there. Like, every time I did it, it would catch, and then it would just rip my fucking bowl apart, and then it was just trash. And then I couldn't gouge it out. I had another tannin that was gripped onto the chuck, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? So this project has been complete fucking disaster. So, first of all, the block was too big for my lathe. This is a MIDI lathe. Not designed for that fucking amount of material. Knew that. My fault. My tools were sharp. I don't know. Fuck. I don't know why the epoxy is just fucking chipping and shards of glass everywhere. So, overall, complete utter disaster. I'm still gonna put it on there. Hopefully the next project doesn't suck so much. But, hey, learn from my mistakes, kids. Use a block of wood that is appropriate size for your lathe, and I don't know, maybe don't use wood that sucks. I don't know. I have no idea what went wrong. I don't know if it's my chuck jaws or what the fuck's going on. But anyway, I hope you got something out of it. We post disasters on here often, so oh well. Better luck in the next project. Hey, don't forget to share my disaster and subscribe to this awesome channel. Alright, so I'll catch you guys in the next clip. Meow.